friends, Carly with Moxie Mind here. I wanted to share with you today a story about myself and my own journey through body image and body acceptance. So I won't go through everything because that's a really long story to tell, because as most of us know, body acceptance and how we feel about ourselves and the way that we present in our bodies isn't something that just happens overnight, and it takes a lot of effort and work and showing up in order to unpack and digest and understand how we feel about our bodies, where that came from, and how we'd like to proceed, right? So this is just one story, one piece of the puzzle. About a year ago now, when I was new to Denver and Moxie Mind was in the very beginning stages, so just a little baby, I had to do quite a few side hustles in order to financially support myself and be able to continue, working towards all of the Moxie Mind endeavors, taking care of myself. So one of these side hustles was being a nude model at an art college. And this was a really fun and challenging and anxiety inducing and terrifying and wonderful experience. So really all of the feels. I really can't even put my finger quite on the label that I would attach to it, but the basic gist was that it sounded like something that would be hard, but also a really tangible example and experiment for myself to sort of test my body image. And I thought that it would be not only, financially great as a side hustle, but provide me a story to tell clients and share experiences about bodies. So the first day that I arrived, I was definitely leaning more towards very scared and unsure of what was going to happen. I knew that one, being in front of strangers was likely going to be absolutely uncomfortable and terrifying, and two, that I wanted to minimize my expectations as much as possible to just see what showed up and to see what I could experience. And so my first shift was a little stressful because I was told that I needed no previous experience. However, when I arrived, the professor was sort of shocked that I hadn't modeled before and was seemingly a little upset about that. And so I ended up doing mostly yoga poses as my modeling poses for that day. And for those of you who may not be familiar, when you are modeling as an art model, you are put on this stage in the center of the room, and lots of bright lights are put on you so that they can see all the shadowing and angles, and then the students are aligned in sort of a semicircle around you, so they're drawing you from different angles and different perspectives. And I was expecting that my body would look different, right, from one angle to another. What I wasn't expecting was that not only would it be different depending on where the student was in the room, but it would be different depending on the student. And I'm not entirely sure what that difference was, if maybe there was some, perceptions of how the student viewed their own bodies and that showed up in their work, or what exactly, maybe it was the angle, it made my body appear a different way. But what was really surprising and like a wonderful surprise for me was realizing that all of these different perceptions, including my own, existed within the same experience in the same moment. And it was such a beautiful reminder that the ways that I feel about my body and the ways that I think about my body can be interpreted completely differently from other people. And in that way, it made me think less about how my body was being perceived to others and more about how I wanted to feel in that moment that was entirely uncomfortable, wanting to just be okay. And I think there's something really powerful too about being in this setting where there's nudity but not sexuality. And this ability to sort of distance my body from like a function, and more just like something that's to be appreciated and to be noticed and seen in a way that is beautiful regardless of how my body shows up. So I might have been really cognizant of like, oh, yep, definitely forgot to shave that part of my kneecap again, or forgot to wear deodorant, or I might feel, bloated that day or whatever. But that doesn't show up in the drawings. It doesn't probably even cross anyone else's mind. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reminder that I can show up, and in this instance, my body is just a body, and it's not seen as good or bad. It's just seen as art. And I'm thankful to have this experience, to take it with me. I also want to recognize that, I wouldn't have had these realizations, and I wouldn't have been on this part of my journey if not for all of the other many experiences and years of recovery, and also acknowledgement of my privilege, being in a culturally acceptable body, an able body, a white body, and therefore, feeling perhaps more of these positive connotations with body acceptance and body image than if I had been in a different body or a different scenario. So I share this experience and this story with you because I want you to understand, I hope for you to understand that body image is yours. And I think so often we get caught in the comparison trap, and we get caught in this idea of how we think others think about us, or interpret our bodies, or view us as acceptable or attractive. And I don't want to completely negate that, because that's certainly something that happens in our culture. But I want to empower you to think a little bit more about how body image belongs to you, how you view your body, how you feel about your body is yours. And perceptions of bodies, whether it's good or bad or any other label that you want to assign to it, is like a lens. It's like a pair of glasses. And knowing that lived experiences and culturization and all these different factors go into the different lenses that we wear and the different lenses that others wear. So everything that we see, any meaning attached to it, is something that we have been taught. It's something that we have learned by putting on those glasses. So I encourage you to keep doing the work, to continue examining how you view your body and other bodies. And if you want some help along the way, I'm more than happy to be here as a helping hand, as a guide on your journey to body acceptance or healing your relationship with your body. As always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope that if you have questions, if you find a curiosity, that you reach out.